Good afternoon and welcome in to Kelly Field on New Cut Road, the home of the Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers. They're taking on a team from the West Coast today, the Mater Dei Monarchs, coming in to take on the Cavaliers in an exciting West Coast versus East Coast high school lacrosse matchup. Connor Newcomb here with you for this one. We thank you so much for joining us. A couple of really talented teams, both who have been ranked at one point in the Nike Top 25 poll in the U.S. Spalding still in the top 10. Mater Dei receiving votes this week, but they are on their spring break trip and looking to pull off an upset and show the country that they play some great lacrosse over on the West Coast. And this Mater Dei team taking on a Spalding club that, well, it's going to be some keys today, and the first is coming out hot. 11 days off for the Cavaliers through their spring break, and they are looking to keep up the momentum they built. They want to control the tempo of this game. This Mater Dei team can play fast as well. They want to keep it at their speed, and of course they want to capitalize on their best opportunities, including the EMOs today for Spalding. They've been so good at times with their attackers this season. On the Mater Dei side, that team is led by Tristan Jewell. He is one of the top players in the country and one of the top guys on this Monarch side, and he is joined by a group of talented attackers who have gotten themselves to a #1 ranking on the West Coast this year, seen across the board as the top team out west, and now they come east on a spring break trip, trying to show that they are one of the top teams in the country. Mater Dei in the All-Reds. They win the face-off after the infraction called against the Cavaliers. Spalding in the white jerseys with the red shorts today. And the Monarchs have the first possession as we are off here from Maryland. Spalding coming in 7-2 on the season with one more non-conference tilt here today before getting back into MIAA conference play. With the 7-2 record, they're 3-1 in the conference so far this year, and they've got a huge one coming up next here on Friday night against undefeated and first-place Boys Latin, as there's a shot saved by Connor McMahon. The senior goalie and the UMBC commit makes the first stop of the day, and Spalding will take over on its first possession. Mater Dei out of Santa Ana, California, just south of Los Angeles. Big-time school in terms of athletics, known for their football program most, but across the board, they've got some dominant athletic teams at the high school level. Nice back check there from Logan Meehan, forces the turnover and gets it right back to Spalding as they failed on their first clearance attempt of the day. It was picked off at midfield. But Mater Dei 12-1 on the season coming in. Played kind of an interesting schedule of, a lot of West Coast teams, of course, but some other teams from across the country. And their one and only loss came on April 5th. It was a 10-9 defeat against Corner Canyon. So there's a nice catch by Augie D'Ambrosi to keep the possession. Now he gets it checked out of his stick. It is still in play. Gutierrez knocks it along back to D'Ambrosi, and Spalding still got it. And they're going to be able to settle this one up top with Gutierrez. Now, we know this Mater Dei team can play fast. They put a lot of pressure on. Now we're seeing the pressure on Gutierrez from Andrew Crosby. He whips it over to Weissauer and a save made. Nicholas Collignon makes a big stop right there as the senior goalie makes his first save of the day. But Spalding gets it back 2 minutes in. Nicholas Collignon, a 4-year starter in goal. As here's Race Ripley on the other end for Spalding. Ripley working against Aiden Fishbein defensively. Comes off a screen, gives it up Ryan Schreier behind the cage. 25 seconds, Schreier feed to D'Ambrosi. Couldn't catch it clean. Taken down from behind. Taj Gadhavi took him down, 22 in red. The junior defender for the Monarchs. And Mater Dei gets it back, still in a scoreless tie. Another nice check. Spalding all over it right there as Samari Stoughton lost it. Stoughton, one of the top talents on this Mater Dei side. 11 in red, the midfielder who will play at the D1 level next year, committed to Brown. Headed to the Ivy League Fantastic student in the classroom, fantastic player on the field for this Monarch side. Here's Mikey Weissauer. Speaking of fantastic players, one of the best goal scorers in the country. Gives it off. They feed it behind the cage. Back up top. 45 still on the timer. Schreier going one-on-one with Staton. Back to his right. Gets a little space, fires and scores. Ryan Schreier puts it home, and Archbishop Spalding is on the board first. Schreier, the Towson commit, getting himself to surpassing that 20-goal mark on the season as he puts it home, and the senior makes it 1-0 Cavaliers. So a couple of back-and-forth possessions, each team with a couple of shots, and Spalding cans one first. I mentioned Archbishop Spalding hasn't played in 11 days. Their last game was on the road at Gilman back on April 8th. It was a 10-8 win for the Cavaliers over the Greyhounds to get them to 7-2 overall and 3-1 in the conference. And then they had spring break, and whereas a lot of teams hit the road for some games on spring break, it was a break in the schedule for Archbishop Spalding in terms of games played. And head coach Brian Phipps talked about, wanting to come out with a hot start, not let the layoff affect them. And, well, so far so good. They've scored the first goal in this one. They've got the possession back. Weissauer tripped up by a defender and keeps the possession. That's Crosby on him. That's going to be a key matchup to watch. Weissauer doubling over a little bit, but gets right back into his cut. Schreier sent to the deck after his goal. And now Race Ripley. Took a bump, gave it up. Nice catch behind the cage. Turn, spin, shot, and goal number 2 for Archbishop Spalding. So the Cavs controlling the possession early, and they've got a 2-0 lead. Ben Duffy gets himself the goal, and it's been interesting to see Duffy out there with that starting line. We've seen him a solid amount this year, but mostly late in games, play a couple minutes here and there, but Duffy getting some key minutes early in this one. And really playing so far the role that Jack Newell has played so far this year, the star freshman for Spalding, who came right in to the starting lineup. Didn't see Newell. We see Duffy instead, and he gets a goal to make it 2-0. But the Monarchs have it back here, trying to get on the board midway through the first quarter. Under head coach Johnny Rodriguez, familiar with the area, familiar with the conference. Rodriguez, who played at Mount St. Joe's here in the MIAA back in the mid-2000s, then went on to play his college lacrosse at Salisbury, the Division III level. As that shot saved by McMahon, he's got another stop. Back-to-back saves from Connor McMahon, not letting anything by. Sean Sanchez, who let one rip on that shot, couldn't get it to go as Duffy keeps that in play for the Cavaliers. Mater Dei got, of course, Mount St. Joe on the schedule on Thursday. Team that generally in the past has gone out to California to play Mater Dei as Johnny Rodriguez takes on his alma mater. But the Monarchs, for the first time, coming to the state of Maryland, getting Spalding, get Mount St. Joe, get DeMatha on the schedule. Errant pass. They couldn't catch it. Here comes Spalding the other way. And Coach Rodriguez this week talked about just how big of an opportunity it is for his team to come play teams at this level and show that they're not just a good West Coast team, that they're a good high school lacrosse team in the entirety of the landscape. This Mater Dei side They've built this program up. There's a big save there by Collignon. All the way back to 2018, this team was 3-15. They're now a 12-1 side who are nationally ranked. 1 point this year. Trying to win their first ever state championship in California, and they've got the most talented team out there this year. Few Division I commits, even more guys committed across the college lacrosse landscape to play at the next level. Late first quarter here, 2-0. Spalding has the lead. Ben Duffy and Ryan Schreier with the goals for the Cavaliers. Strong defending there from Luke Brookman. Brookman took it away. One of the more physical D-middies in the MIAA conference is Brookman, and just dispossessed the Monarchs attacker there. Mikey Weissauer got the short stick on him for now. See what he can do. Taking Connor Detloff one-on-one, gives it up. Duffy extra pass, Schreier fires, and another save. The senior goalie makes another stop, but Schreier gets the ground ball. Nicholas Collignon, the senior, who Coach Rodriguez said barely knew how to hold a lacrosse stick when he came into this program. And now, 4-year starting goalie. Just commands this team with his leadership, said Coach Rodriguez from his spot in the crease. Weissauer trying to put defenders on skates, feeds in front, and Ripley couldn't catch it cleanly, and the Monarchs pick it up. So the modern-day offense settling in a little bit better. The defense, I should say. Let's see if they can turn it into offense here on this end. 3 stops from Connor McMahon, and then they've turned it over multiple times. Been a little sloppy handling the ball here in the first quarter. Cole Chrysostamo, 24 in red. Dishes it off for Sanchez and sets the screen. Now he's working against Jamison Kaufman, the sophomore who right now is in a D-Medi spot for Spalding, but can do a whole lot of things on this team and may see that role evolve as his career goes on. We got a timeout called by Johnny Rodriguez. His team still scoreless here late in the first.
We'd like to remind everyone to come out on Friday night, April 22nd, support the boys lacrosse team. They take on boys Latin here at Archbishop Spalding at 7 p.m.
Two 2-0 Spalding here with under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Connor Newcomb with you here, Paul Surreal Media on YouTube. We thank you so much for joining us. East Coast versus West Coast action here. High school lacrosse. The Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers against the modern-day Monarchs from Santa Ana, California. One of the top high school athletic programs on the West Coast, and a lacrosse program that's been built up and built up over the years, and this is the best team they've had there under head coach Johnny Rodriguez. Looking to continue that rise with making a statement here in the D.C.-Baltimore area for their spring break trip. It starts against Spalding, and they're trying to get on the board, but that wasn't much on that shot. McMahon picked it up pretty easily there as he made the stop on Tristan Jewell, the Johns Hopkins commit, who in a couple years is going to be coming right back here to play for the Blue Jays at Homewood Field. Oh, nice feed, and Duffy couldn't get it to go. Collignon made the stop. Duffy trying to keep it in play. Crosby took it away, and it goes back over to the Monarchs. Shot clock is off here as we've got a minute to play in quarter number one. As Nate Chu brings it across for Mater Dei. Watch out for him, 28 in red. Leading goal scorer on this team with 26 tallies on the year for the junior attacker. Detloff slips a defender. They give it inside. There's Chu, and McMahon makes another stop. Connor McMahon has been perfect so far in this one. Save percentage just shy of 60% on the year for the senior goalie. And he has been dynamite in this one. 20 seconds in the quarter. Spalding will get the final possession. Gutierrez working against Detloff. Fakes the flip. Gives it up. Fires, and Ripley missed it wide. 10.3 seconds. It will stay on this end. Ryan Schreier, who had the first goal, will have it on the restart. Now with 8 seconds. Duffy feeds Gutierrez off a screen. Gutierrez in on the crease. Bounce shot and another save. Big performances by each goalkeeper in the first 12 minutes, but Connor McMahon was a little better as Spalding leads it 2-0 after one.
At the end of the first quarter, the score is Mater Dei 0, Archbishop Spalding 2. We would like to take this time to thank you, our sponsors of Spalding Lacrosse, Frost Law, Greenfield Capital Management, Lids, Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis, and Kelly Group Investments.
Start of the second quarter here off of New Cut Road. It's Spalding and Mater Dei. Connor Newcomb here with you on Paul Surreal Media. We thank you so much for joining us for some high school lacrosse action. A couple of competing styles here and good goalkeeping so far in this one. Connor McMahon's been perfect. Nicholas Collignon's been pretty good as well. And Spalding leads Mater Dei 2-0 after one. Ryan Schreier and Ben Duffy each scored one in that first quarter for the Cavaliers. Spalding in the white, Mater Dei in the all-red as they control it to start quarter number two. Coming all the way from California, here to start their spring break this week and take on the Cavaliers. And chatting with head coach Johnny Rodriguez this week, he said this trip did sneak up on them a little bit. They've been looking forward to it all year, but then got in the midst of their conference season and realized that they're going back on the road to Maryland as McMahon makes another stop and then outlets to Alex Ross.
Another stop by Connor McMahon.
Ross gives it up to Brookman. Get a defender and a D-Mitty running the break there, and probably made the smart move to slow it down just a touch, get it to the attackers. Gutierrez. Ross still in there. Ross fires a shot. It goes wide. You know, the eyes got wide for one of the top defenders in the nation, Penn State commit, the senior Ross, and he's still out there. As they're waiting to bring Weissauer back on. He's milling around at midfield with Jackson Roberts, and now he and Ross will make the flip-flop. Alex Ross has some really good stick skills on offense, even with that long pole. He let one rip there. Duffy feeds in front. Oh, it was just a little bit of a tough pass. He kind of handcuffed Race Ripley there. Would have been tough to shoot it, let alone catch it, as he couldn't come up with it, and Spalding turns it over. But Mater Dei content to give it right back. Just an errant pass into the middle of the field, and Gavin Eiley scoops it up. The defender committed to Division II Tampa brings it across. And Spalding right back in possession. Not much for Mikey Weissauer so far. Gives it up to a wide open D'Ambrosi, who fires wide. Augie D'Ambrosi, senior Flagler commit on attack for the Cavaliers. He'll go back behind the goal for the restart. Gutierrez hits a pipe. Tried to go far post and bounce it home. He couldn't get it to go, and then a call, maybe a push in the back called against Logan Meehan, and Mater Dei will get it back momentarily, but they have just been not secure with the ball. Weissauer finds Ripley, moves in, fires, and a save. The goalies continue to impress. Back come the Monarchs with 9 to go in the first half. Able to clear that time. But the big thing they've got to figure out is how to get one past Connor McMahon. They've come up empty so far today, 15 minutes and no goals. For a team that comes in with a pretty high scoring prowess with 12 wins in their first 13 games this season. Sanchez going around Kaufman, gives it behind the cage. Now they go to Tristan Jewell. Jewell spins left, and Ross took it away. What a check from Alex Ross. And Spalding is off to the races. They've got numbers. Duffy, extra pass. Oh, and the goalie got in there. Colin Yon again makes a huge stop in the crease. Now that won't be a shot or a save. He just picked off that pass. They were trying to get it right on cage, and Mater Dei just throws it away. Right now, the Mater Dei clearing game and just their passing is lagging behind how well their defense and goalie is playing today. This defensive unit for the Monarchs giving their offense ample chances. And just a lot of sloppy turnovers from Johnny Rodriguez's side. Weissauer took a bump, held on to it. Tough catch behind the goal, but Duffy makes it. Here's Nick Gutierrez. So keep swinging it around. Aiden Hamill now into the game for Spalding. Oh, gave it up. Weissauer's got way too much space, and he had it checked out of his stick. We'll see what kind of role Aiden Hamill can play. Kind of been an off-the-bench, here and there minutes role this year. A role player on offense. Going one-on-one up top. Feeds inside. Jump shot and a goal. There's Race Ripley, and he makes it 3-0 Spalding. Ripley, the senior Navy commit, gets the goal. Hamill with the assist. Race Ripley, another guy who's creeping up on 20 goals on the year, puts that one home, and still pretty good defense throughout the possession by Mater Dei. Just not able to finish. And we've got a whistle and a timeout. 7:24 to go in the first half. Cavaliers so far shutting out the Monarchs.
Coming up at halftime, we're going to honor Coach Walt Blayhut and the members of the 2000, 2001, and 2002 MIAA B Conference Championships team. Please meet at the snack bar at halftime.
Three 0 Spalding leads Mater Dei. Connor Newcomb here with you from Kelly Field, and it's been a good one so far. Defensive battle. Spalding been able to break through 3 times, just coming off a Race Ripley goal that made it 3-0. But on the other side, it's been nothing so far for Mater Dei coming from Santa Ana, California, and yet to score as Blake Malamphy wins the face-off there. The face-off man for the Cavs, senior, who is headed to Salisbury next year, the alma mater of this Mater Dei coaching staff. Johnny Rodriguez, their head coach. Gutierrez looking for space. Luke Phipps, their offensive coordinator. Newt Krause, the defensive coordinator. All three of them played together at Salisbury at the D3 level, and now coaching together and building up this Mater Dei program all the way across the U.S. Gutierrez fakes the flip, and now he'll back it out. 40 to shoot for Schreier. Weissauer still held scoreless so far today. You don't say that too often. Averaging more than 4 goals a game on the season. Gutierrez slips in, fires, and bounces one off the pipe. Second time this quarter that the Cavaliers have hit the post, and Ripley couldn't pick it up. Nice job by Tajgad Javi, the junior defender over there, to make a nice play and get Mater Dei the possession back. Samari Stoughton looking to clear and does it right at the sideline. So nothing doing from the Mater Dei offense so far. Nate Chu, their leading goal scorer with 26 on the year. Of course, you can always go to Tristan Jewell, maybe their best overall player. 17 goals and 12 assists for him this season. Right there is Griffin Dwyer. He's got 20 goals. That's second best on the team. Trying to fight their way in. Ben Ruiz with some strong defending. Meehan comes in with the secondary hit. Ball's loose, and Spalding's got it. Gavin Eiley with numbers. Gives it up. Extra pass. Schreier on the doorstep. Goes in and scores. Ryan Schreier with his second today, and it's 4-0 Cavaliers. But that whole play was made on the defensive end for Spalding. You had Ben Ruiz, the junior captain, D-Mitty, with some fantastic one-on-one defending. And then he got the help from Meehan. And then Eiley scooped up the ground ball and went off to the races. And none of them will get any points there, goals or assists. But those three made it happen. So a face-off infraction against Spalding, and Mater Dei is going to get it. That's Lucas De La Paz, 14 in red, the junior face-off man, who also just happens to be one of their top players on the offensive end as well. They don't run a Fogo, Mater Dei. They keep De La Paz in the game pretty much at all times, but he's been dominant at the face-off dot this year, right around 85%. That's right, 85% on the season. Wraparound chance by Sanchez, and McMahon knocked it away. De La Paz was 80% last year as a sophomore. That set the Mater Dei all-time record. He's on pace to break it this year as that shot goes wide. And that was De La Paz. Was named the 2021 Monarchs team MVP last season. Detloff gives it up. Still 25 to shoot for the Monarchs here. Still goalless late in the first half. Jewell, one-on-one, bounce shot. Nowhere close. I think Spalding might have got there, or so I thought. He'll stay with the Monarchs. That was a good matchup there. Jewell and Ross. That shot, easy stop for McMahon. A couple of defenders came in to crunch the shooter. And the wide open man was Kaufman. Bit of an errant pass. Kaufman not able to catch it. Spalding with a good check from behind. As the Monarchs have had a little trouble clearing today. They've got it back. If Jamison Kaufman catches that pass in the midfield, Spalding's off to the races again. Mater Dei will back this one out. Again, that's Griffin Dwyer. Senior, 20 goals and 2 assists on the season, 13 in red. Kaufman comes up to guard him. Dwyer fires, and it's wide. Jewell there to back it up as the Monarchs will keep it. And another timeout is called, this time by Brian Phipps and Spalding. 3:18 to go in the half. Cavaliers still pitching a shutout. .318 to go in the first half. Spalding and Mater Dei. It's a 4-0 Cavalier lead. Connor Newcomb back here with you for this one. We thank you so much for tuning in here on a windy, chilly day here in the Annapolis area. It's not the weather it's been for the last week or so. It's cooled off here early this week, and we're in the low 50s with a lot of wind, making the conditions certainly not pleasant for mid-April. Mater Dei almost throws it away again. And Dwyer knocked it down and left it on a silver platter for Spalding to go the other way. Transition again, but nice recovery, transition defense there by the Monarchs. It was Brennan Danahy, another Salisbury commit for Spalding, that made the nice play to pick up that ground ball. Weissauer just shaking defenders, but they've brought a lot of double teams so far on him today. Hasn't been able to find the space. Has not scored any of those 4 Spalding goals. It's 2 from Schreier, 1 from Duffy, and 1 from Ripley. Weissauer looking to go to work. Duffy out to Schreier. Still 40 on the timer. Schreier from a tough angle. Low to high, he scores. It's a hat trick for Ryan Schreier. With Weissauer being double-teamed, passing up some opportunities, it's been Ryan Schreier's day to shine. The senior's got the hat trick, and it's 5-0 Cavaliers. So the dominance from Spalding continues. Infraction on the face-off there against the Monarchs. And so with under 2 to go in the half, the Cavaliers will have it back. Still do have the shot clock on. But, I mean, even if they don't score, and this is the halftime score, I mean, you got to feel great if you're Brian Phipps and that staff to hold a team scoreless and convert on your opportunities against a pretty good defensive team with a really good goalkeeper in there. As Augie D'Ambrosi threw it into a tough angle, and he's going against one of the best defenders in the country in Crosby, and Crosby knocked that pass away. Mater Dei the other way, trying to get on the board. That shot's fired wide. Couldn't get that one to go. And now a late whistle. And a Monarchs timeout with 1:22 to go in the half. Can Mater Dei get on the board before the break? A 1:22 to go in the half. 1:11 on the shot clock as Mater Dei's got the possession after their final time out of the half. They're looking to get on the scoreboard, trailing Archbishop Spalding 5-0 here. They've had a good amount of shots, but Connor McMahon has been locked down in goal for the Cavaliers. If you're Mater Dei, you do not want to go to the half without a tally in that goal column. Under a minute to go until halftime. 45 on the shot clock. Meehan defending. Give it up, Detloff. Oh, and he threw it right into the midsection of Sanchez, and he kind of handcuffed his own attacker. We saw Spalding do that once on offense early in the game, and just a pass that is almost impossible to catch. And here comes Spalding the other way. And that feed got knocked out of bounds. They were looking for Weissauer, and I believe it was Andrew Crosby, the Rutgers commit on defense, who deflected it. Shot clock is off, 31.5 seconds remaining in the half for Spalding, and they can hold for the final shot of this first half. They got Aiden Hamill back in there as assistant on a goal today. He gives to Gutierrez, 22 seconds. Tough pass there. Couldn't get it to Ripley. He'll knock it back inbounds to maybe try and run a little more time off. But Mater Dei with one final chance, 10 seconds in the half. They got to go quick here. And not a great clearance pass. Nice job by Jackson Roberts. He'll whip it down the other end. And that'll do it for half number one. Spalding pitches a shutout. And the Cavaliers lead Mater Dei 5-0 as we hit the break.
Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers 5.
I think I immediately knew when I came for that open house 7th grade that everything I had heard was true.
Didn't know what to expect because I'd never been to a Catholic school. I didn't know much about it.
It invited me into a lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable. The kids are passionate. You walk in, there's a little bit of electricity in the building. That's hard to describe. It's something that you feel.
I care about school now. I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day. I know they care about me. And it's this sense of community that's enabled me to be able to push myself.
And grow through service. I feel like it made me a well-rounded human being.
I know that Spalding has everything here for all of my children, academically, emotionally, physically.
Whether it's clubs, whether it's sports, they're going to be leaders in and out of the classroom.
What I hope and pray is that at the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how you felt, respected, included, and that you always felt one in Christ.
The opportunities afforded to these students just really speak to the success of this school. It's impressive.
It's more than just learning at school. Like, it's taught me how to treat people, how to grow in my faith, rather than just giving me an education and sending me off to college.
When you choose the Spalding experience, what you're getting is an environment that cares for the individual. This is a place where we welcome people home.
You're going to grow so much.
I know it may be nerve-wracking. This school is bigger than what you're probably used to.
This school, this community is truly like no other.
You will find innovation, a deepened faith life, family.
You're about to have a very crazy ride, but some of the best years of your life.
I still remember my first day.
We get to school, and my mom is like, "Don't be nervous," and I'm like, "I'm not nervous," but I was freaking out.
I really had no clue what I was walking into.
Everything was unknown and uncertain.
What if I don't find my friend group? What clubs am I gonna join? Did I bring my lunchbox?
Each step that I took closer, I could feel my heart race, this mixture of anticipation and excitement, the fear of the unknown.
From the moment stepping on campus, I immediately knew everything I had heard was true.
I found what I was looking for.
A lifetime of experiences that have been unforgettable.
High school is where you figure out who you are. Spalding cares about that.
Academics, activities, there's something here for everybody.
Whatever it is that you are looking for, we'll provide it for you.
The most challenging, relevant, cutting-edge programs, the International Baccalaureate Project lead the way.
You look at the students, they're leaders. They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually. It starts in the classroom and then transitions directly onto the field.
The community here is one that genuinely cares about each other.
We celebrate together. We all feel the school spirit.
We all come together on faith.
We are truly the embodiment of one in Christ.
The two questions that we answer with every decision that's made here: do we support the mission? Are we caring for our students? Yes, of course, calculus is important. Maybe you run a championship-winning team. But what I hope and pray is that our students remember how we made them feel, and that we made them feel respected, important, and that they very much felt a part and welcomed at Archbishop Spalding.
Take a deep breath.
You're going to grow so much.
You're going to be prepared for success in college and in life.
You will find a deepened faith.
Become a leader.
You're going to be pushed more than you ever have been before.
It's going to be difficult.
And this community will help you become the best version of yourself.
You're about to have some of the best days of your lives here.
And when you look back, you will realize you were always part of something bigger.
Getting out the car, walking to school, I was anxious, nervous.
It's a bigger school than I've ever been to. Didn't know any faces.
I remember sitting in that homeroom and feeling all of the nerves and the anticipation and excitement of what high school could bring. I quickly found out that this was going to be not just my school, but my home.
Everybody had open arms.
There's a genuine love for one another.
Everybody knows everybody.
I care about all of the people I'm surrounded with every day.
When you choose Archbishop Spalding High School to be your home, you're getting a large school that feels like a small family.
You are never alone in this experience at all.
At the end of your time at Spalding, you're going to remember how Spalding lifted you up in the most positive way.
You're always going to feel that connection. You're going to want to come back home.
The Spalding community is definitely one that I would describe as united.
There's a genuine desire to serve, to exemplify Christ.
And we see that every day in this building, from something as small as a senior helping a freshman with their locker, a teacher comforting a student. We see it in the smallest and the largest acts of kindness.
I knew it would actually be my calling to strengthen the faith life of the students that were around me in the way that I had my faith life strengthened as a student here before.
There's a million different people, a million different backgrounds. People come from all over the world, but the fact that we can all come together on faith,
that's literally the embodiment of one body in Christ.
Hallmarks of a Spalding athlete. Are they able to compete at the highest level possible? Spalding is positioned very uniquely because they are in one of the best leagues in the state. When they're competing at a high level, that's big time.
It was always known as a great academic school, but we wanted to build a full-rounded school for student athletes. And we knew that they could get to where they're at today.
Since I've graduated from high school, I've watched the campus grow astronomically. Spalding, it laid a foundation for my understanding of teamwork, friendship, and things that were so much bigger than what happened on the basketball court.
They're challenging themselves academically and spiritually, and it transitions directly onto the field where that consistency molds and shapes everybody that's involved.
The future of Spalding athletically is strong and vibrant, and I'm excited for our Cavs.
The growth of this school is unbelievable to me. The opportunities that are afforded to these students, it's impressive.
The nature of our size impacts the growth because of the options that our size enables us to offer our students. We're very deliberate about knowing emerging trends. We have so many different academic programs. We have so many different co-curricular programs.
If there is anything that is of interest to you, all you need to do is ask.
And it's great to see how the school and the athletic facilities have improved over the years.
When I have friends who are alumni reach out to me and I tell them that there's now an engineering building, it tells you the health of the school, which is embodied by the people who make it up. That's why it's been so successful. That's why there's so many opportunities at this school.
You could say that 10,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough. It fires me up, man. I love it. Tell me one time. Shake it back! Yeah, it rhymes. They're both birds. Awesome.
Welcome back into Kelly Field. Connor Newcomb here with you for some high school lacrosse action. It's the Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers and the modern-day Monarchs Spalding leading this one 5-0 at the break as we're getting ready to start the third quarter here from Spalding. In that first half, 3 goals from Ryan Schreier. He had a hat trick for the Cavaliers. You had 1 goal from Race Ripley and Ben Duffy, and you get your 5 as they shut out this Mater Dei offense. Ryan McMahon with multiple key saves for Spalding. On the other side, Nicholas Collignon had a really good day in goal for Mater Dei. He's kept this one from being 8 or 9-0 at this point, and his defense has played well, but the Mater Dei offense hasn't done much, and they've really struggled with turnovers in this one. The big reason why it sits at 5-0. Spalding with the first possession of the second half, looking to extend that lead. Ripley flips it off. Gutierrez gets some space and fires wide. It'll stay on this end. Spalding at 7-2 coming in. 3-1 in the MIAA. Final non-conference matchup for the Cavaliers. They've got Boys Latin here on Friday night. That'll be a big one. Rematch of the A-Conference championship game from last year. Boys Latin beat Spalding by a single goal to take down the title. As Ripley goes in, fires, it wouldn't go, but a flag flies. We have not seen a penalty all day. We did not get one in the entirety of that first half. A very clean first 25 minutes of lacrosse here. That's the first time we've seen any laundry on the field. It was another reason that first half flew by. You know, one reason obviously is just 5 goals on the board. When you don't get a penalty either, things tend to go rather quick. But the penalty is going to be called against Tajgat Havi, 22 in red, junior defender for Mater Dei. And Spalding's going to go 6-on-5. First man-up opportunity for the Cavaliers in this one. Brian Phipps talked about it. One of the keys to the game today is capitalizing on these EMO opportunities for the Cavs, and their first chance here comes just over a minute into the second half. And we see Jack Newell for the first time today, number 16 in white, who had the ball just there behind the cage. Freshman attacker who's played a lot this year, but Duffy was in there in his spot in the 6-on-6. Now Newell in on the EMO. Gutierrez to Weissauer. He fires and scores. You can't keep Mikey Weissauer down for too long. And one of the top scorers in the conference puts one home to make it 6-0 Cavaliers. That'll end the penalty time, but they capitalize on their first man-up chance of the day.
Goal scored by number 8, Mikey Weissauer. Assisted by Nick Gutierrez.
So the lead is 6 now for Spalding before Mater Dei could even possess it here in half number 2. Can the Monarchs get one to go? Haven't been able to beat McMahon so far today. Tristan Jewell, the junior Johns Hopkins commit, talked with his head coach Johnny Rodriguez this week, said what makes him this good is just his love for the game of lacrosse as he fires one wide. His commitment and his drive as well to get better and get where he has gotten to be a commit to Johns Hopkins, as that shot is fired wide. That's the guy that Coach Rodriguez told us to look out for. Nate Chu, their leading scorer, who missed on that shot, as Spalding's going to get it back. But Chu's got 26 goals. Spalding looking for another. It's Weissauer. He fires wide. Just got his first goal of the day right there. Inching towards 40 on the season is the senior Towson commit. Ripley around the screen. And Duffy just threw it away. He might have gotten hit, but Mater Dei is going to get it back as Spalding turns it over. Now we get a whistle, and we're going to make Mater Dei restart it. And here goes Tristan Jewell. Each of these teams coming off of victories. Spalding 10-8 over Gilman on the road back on Friday, April 8th. They had spring break last week. They haven't played in 11 days, but haven't shown any rust with the 6-0 lead. As they pick off the pass and the outlet rolls its way to Race Ripley across midfield. For Mater Dei, they've been off for a week. They last played last Tuesday, April 12th, and they got everybody in there in a pretty straightforward win. It was an 18-3 victory over Santa Margarita Catholic in that one. That got them to 12-1 on the year. D'Ambrosi behind the cage. Duffy. And another bit of an errant pass. Nice scoop from Ripley. Gutierrez one-on-one. Flips it. D'Ambrosi, extra pass to Schreier, looking for goal number 4. He sails it high again. The Monarchs' only loss, March 5th, a 10-9 loss to Corner Canyon. That's the only time they've been dropped in 13 games this year. But this is a different level of competition. A top 10 team in the country. One of the best in probably the best high school lacrosse conference in the nation. And they've been shut out so far today by these Cavaliers. Schreier gives it up. D'Ambrosi with their best one-on-one defender, Andrew Crosby, all over it. Gutierrez with 5 to shoot. Inside to D'Ambrosi. It's loose. Who's got it? The Monarchs come away with it. They force another turnover. They've done a solid job of that defensively today. McLean Cantrell came away the other way, 31 in red. The sophomore for Mater Dei. Made a nice defensive play right there. First time we've called his name today. Sanchez gets Eiley off him, gets the short stick, and Kaufman on him now. Trips to the turf, still has 40 to shoot. Now back to the long pole. Now gives it up to Griffin Dwyer with the shorty on him. Dwyer feels the double team. Eiley collapsed in. Now the Monarchs, 20 to shoot. Another double team. This one from Meehan. Diving shot goes wide, and we have the first flag against Spalding today. So it took 2.5 quarters until Archbishop Spalding was called for a penalty. But it's going to go against the junior defender, Logan Meehan, number 3 in white, who's made some really key plays so far today to help pitch this shutout. But he's going to be sent off. And the Monarchs head to the EMO for the first time in this one. Let's see if the 6-on-5 can get them their first goal of the day. Dwyer thought about the shot. He'll give it up. Kind of an errant pass. Nice scoop by Ryan Stiller, 20 in red. Now another bit of sloppy passing in the 6-on-5. Oh, a skip pass and a beauty. Dwyer fires and McMahon makes another stop. The buildup was great from Mater Dei, but Connor McMahon was better. But now a whistle, and they're going to get a push against Spalding. They're going to reset the shot clock and give it back to the Cavs. But again, just a sloppy turnover. Tristan Jewell just dropped it, and Gavin Eiley, who's been just stellar defensively today, all over these ground balls, picks up another one for Spalding. I mean, Gavin Eiley's been a big part of this team for a couple years now, but I don't know if it's the best I've seen him play, but it's the most involved I've seen Gavin Eiley be in a Spalding uniform. Really impressive day from him. Gutierrez winds up and fires just a bit wide to the left of the goal. He's trying to beat Nicholas Collignon high, he's been the bright spot, their senior goalie today for Mater Dei. D'Ambrosi fakes the flip, gets a little space. Goes behind for Ripley. Ripley around the crease, fires wide. Duffy there to back it up and keep it with the Cavs. Weissauer, nice move. Gets past two defenders, and he scores. The human highlight reel, Mikey Weissauer strikes again. He's got both goals in the second half, and it is a 7-0 Spalding advantage. They held him down in the first half. Mikey did not score in the first 24 minutes, but he's got them both in the second half. A 7-0 lead now. And Spalding able to win the face-off. Blake Malamphy versus Lucas De La Paz. Duffy, open. If you get a peek at the scoreboard in the stadium right now, it reads 6-0, but this is a 7-0 lead right now for Spalding. We've got it on our scorebug here as Weissauer fires high.
Scoreboard should show 7.
And there we go.
Thank you.
Gutierrez, speaking of sevens, a couple of sevens matching up right here. Gutierrez against Aiden Fishbein, the senior defender with the long stick for Mater Dei. Here's Ripley with a spin. Gets a little space, 20 to shoot for Spalding here. Oh, D'Ambrosi couldn't catch it. A nice scoop on the ground ball. He's got 10 seconds to work. Ripley with 8. Ripley into the teeth of the defense. Just flings it into the air, and not the worst thing in the world to chuck one into the corner and take that shot clock violation.
Severn just beat Boys Latin 6-5.
We got a wild score update from elsewhere in the MIAA. Of course, Spalding next opponent is Boys Latin here Friday night, rematch of the championship game from last year. It's a 7 p.m. start. Boys Latin was undefeated in the MIAA until today. They just lost to Severn today, which is going to be the biggest upset you see all season. So we'll see how they fare when they come in to play Spalding just 3 days later. Mater Dei looking for goal number 1, but McMahon says no. Denies Crisostomo right there. Cole Crisostomo, the junior, who does have 16 goals this season, was not able to put that one home. And the other way. And a shot there from Weissauer off the post. Flag is on the field. Mater Dei finally picks it up, and now they will blow it dead with 1:46 to go in the third. And it looks like, trying to see who exactly that penalty went on. Thought initially they might have sent Blaze Perales off. But either way, it's going to be a 6-on-5 for Spalding. They're 1 for 1 today on the man up. Scored on it earlier in this half to make it 6-0. It was a Mikey Weissauer goal. He's got both goals in the half. It was 5-0 at the break. Now 7-0 Spalding here late in the third. Looks like it's Reese Lafferty in the sin bin for Mater Dei, 15 in red, the junior. Now Jack Newell on the EMO, and the freshman scores. Jack Newell makes it 8-0 Cavs. Race Ripley gets another assist right there, and Newell, who we haven't seen in the 6-on-6 today, makes his minutes count on the man up.
Goal scored by number 16, Jackson Newell. Assisted by number 4, Race Ripley.
So the lead grows to 8 late in the third. And as the game gets later, it becomes less about the full comeback and more about just trying to start it with getting on the board if you're the Mater Dei Monarchs here. Spalding and Mater Dei matching up for the first time here as this team out of California coming to Maryland and D.C. for their spring break trip this week. Mount St. Joe and DeMatha on the schedule as well. Got MSJ on Thursday. That's their head coach's alma mater. That's where Johnny Rodriguez played his high school lacrosse, right here in this conference in the mid-2000s. So a special trip for him back. But so far it's not starting the way what they wanted. Down 8-0 in the final minute of the third. Weissauer. Shot clock is off, and Aiden Hamble couldn't catch it. See if maybe a breakaway is the moment for Mater Dei. Got Javi with the long pole, and he threw it away. They were in transition, and they tried to get it to Ryan Stiller. Stiller did keep the ball in bounds, but he had no chance of scooping it up as Spalding picks up the ground ball. So again, just some sloppy passing at an inopportune moment. Now some sloppy passing for Spalding. They give it right back. 12 seconds here. Mater Dei the other way. One final chance to score. Long pole rips one. It goes wide. And it will go back over to Spalding. Ross will heave it down the field. Finds Ripley. Ripley, and the pass was knocked down by Crosby, and that will do it for the third quarter. But Spalding adds 3 more in the period, 2 from Weissauer and 1 from Newell. Continues the shutout, and the Cavaliers lead at 8-0 as we head to the fourth.
At the end of the third quarter, Mater Dei 0, Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers 8. We'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors of Spalding Lacrosse, Frost Law, Greenfield Capital Management, LID, Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis, and Kelly Group Investments.
This is Ken Wolf again. I'd like to make sure that you all know your announcer here was one of the heavy hitters literally on the 2000 championship team, Zach Hardy. So let's hear a little bit of applause for Zach. Thanks for all you do, Zach.
Start of the fourth quarter from Kelly Field, home of the Spalding Cavaliers, and it is all Cavaliers here in this one. They've got an 8-0 lead over the Mater Dei Monarchs out of California. Connor Newcomb with you here on Pulse Real Media on YouTube. We thank you so much for joining us. And it's been domination by Spalding today. They led 5-0 at the break. They got 3 more in the third. 2 from Weissauer, 1 from the freshman Jack Newell. They lead 8-0. And there's been shots from Mater Dei, but Connor McMahon right around the 10 save mark, and he's been just unflappable, the senior in goal for Spalding. And the Cavs win the first face-off of the fourth quarter. Speaking of freshmen, it's Ryan Criswell, their number 2 face-off guy, who wins that one to start the fourth. And Nick Gutierrez has it for Spalding. Blake Malamphy's certainly their number 1, but they'll rotate Criswell in there from time to time. Gutierrez moving right, feet in front, nice find to D'Ambrosi, and another good save. Collignon again. Listen, Mater Dei is most likely, the way this has gone, going to end up on the losing end of this one, down 8 with 11 minutes to play. But Nicholas Collignon, the senior goalkeeper, should not be hanging his head. He has played a miraculous game in the crease. Made a bunch of huge saves, really high level of difficulty on a lot of them. Coach Rodriguez said he's the vocal leader of this team and has been since his freshman year. 4-year starter in goal who didn't have a lot of lacrosse experience before that, but picked up the position and really honed his craft in there. Ryan Schreier had a hat trick in the first half for Spalding. He'll try to add to it. Instead goes to Gutierrez. 15 to shoot. They try to feed for Ripley. Instead, Weissauer picks it up, and a laser for Mikey Weissauer, and he's got a hat trick. 9-0 Spalding. Well, Mikey was scoreless in the first half, but he still found his way into another hat trick this season. He's had one now in all 10 games. Just a ridiculous senior season for the Towson commit, Mikey Weissauer, who this week was named one of the first 11 guys who will play in the Under Armour Lacrosse Senior All-American game, and pretty much recognizes him as one of the top 11 seniors in the country. And many feel that way, and a lot of people might see him and think, well, why is he not committed to go play at Maryland or play at Carolina or wherever it may be? Listen, Towson's got a good program, first and foremost, here in the state. And he's got his family ties to Towson as well. And it's going to be fun to see him in a Tigers uniform next season. But he's still got a lot to do here at Spalding, as he picks up another hat trick here with 3 second-half goals. Can Chu and Mater Dei respond and get on the board for the first time today? But Weissauer, just so incredibly skilled on offense, can find a shot, find a shooting lane from pretty much anywhere. Jewell gives it up. That shot is fired wide. The senior Connor Detloff, who has 7 goals on the year, was trying to finally find the back of the cage. And Mater Dei's got 18 to shoot. Lucas De La Paz working against Kaufman. Gives it up. That shot. And it's deflected down right in front of the goal. And Spalding's got it back. Just more great defending by Spalding. I mean, McMahon's been great, but the defense has been just as good to keep a team as good as Mater Dei scoreless. And this is a team 12-1 on the year, ranked number 1 in the West region of the U.S. in terms of high school lacrosse. I think many believe they're the best team out there, at least in California. And they had a top 25 ranking at one point this year as well, and still receiving votes in the Nike U.S. Lacrosse poll this week. Only loss was by 1 goal this year. Weissauer now looking for 4, and he bounces it wide. Newell there to back it up. And now we will get the call on that flag that is down with 8:08 to play.
We have a goalie change. Connor McMahon out, Ryan D'Angelo in. Let's hear it for both of them, guys.
So after a fantastic day from Connor McMahon, I mean, he plays just shy here of 40 shutout minutes in goal. He will go off to a round of applause. And another senior, Ryan D'Angelo, the number 2 goalie in there, 14 in white for the Cavaliers, will come in to play the final 8 minutes of this one. And, you know, probably a little more pressure than he's used to when he comes in. You know, he's played a good amount in the fourth quarter this year when Spalding has had big leads over a myriad of opponents, not as much in conference play, but against some non-conference teams they've played. D'Angelo has seen some time late in games, but, you know, usually they're up, 6, 7+ goals late in the game, and he's just in there to get some minutes, get some work. But there's a little something extra in this one because he's trying to preserve a shutout here. So he tried to feed that one to D'Ambrosi just a little wide. I think a stick may have gotten a piece of that on the Mater Dei defense. They'll go the other way. So just a little extra pressure on D'Angelo. Again, obviously it's not going to be the end of the world if the Monarchs finally get a goal. I mean, they've got some talented attackers that are trying to put one home. But it's something special to pitch a shutout, especially at this level of lacrosse. And they force another turnover. And it was Gavin Eiley again who was in the area. Ben Ruiz was on it as well. But, I mean, I've been really impressed by Gavin Eiley today. He's just been fantastic. And it hasn't as much been about the one-on-one defensive plays he's made. It's been about the checks, it's been about the ground ball pickups, been about the work he's done around midfield and causing some of the clearance issues for Mater Dei. These senior Tampa commits just been really, really good in this one. Newell gives it up. Oh, what a feed. And an even better save. Nicholas Collignon, tip your hat to him. Another key stop from the senior goalie. Can they run with Tristan Jewell? Not this time as Alex Ross slides over. Gutierrez brings the double team. Ross with the check, knocks it free, and Meehan picks up the ground ball. The combination from Spalding defensively, their double teams have been timely and they've been aggressive so far today. And they've pretty much worked to perfection. I mean, the offensive performance, you love 3 from Schreier, you love 3 from Mikey Weissauer, you like getting the 2 EMO goals, going 2 for 2, but you can't play a better defensive game as Weissauer again tried to find Ripley on the doorstep this time, just a little errant with the pass. They turned it over again. I mean, it's easy to say, well, there's 5:46 left and you haven't given up a goal. That's clearly your best defensive performance if you just look at the scoreboard right now, but just from watching how this game has played out and how the defensive unit has worked as one for the Cavaliers, it's been really, really impressive. And for a team known for its attackers, known for what Weissauer can do, known for how Gutierrez can settle this offense and how they can get Ripley and Schreier and others involved scoring goals, this has been real impressive from the defensive unit. Mater Dei get on the board. Leaks out towards Dwyer. Picks up the ground ball. Still 40 to shoot. Plenty of time for the Monarchs here. They haven't yet gotten a shot on goal against Ryan D'Angelo, the number 2 goalie who's come in. And, oh, that shot. Somebody took a chunk of that one. Took one for the team. Wouldn't let it on goal. Mater Dei still has it. And they've only got 15 to shoot, so they got to hurry a little bit. Chrysostamo gives it up. Griffin Dwyer. Dwyer with 9. Dwyer with a bounce shot. It goes high, and D'Angelo did a great job of recognizing there was no one behind the crease for Mater Dei. And D'Angelo sprints back to win the race and gets it back for Spalding with 4.5 to go. I mean, you know, even with how talented McMahon is, they've got a very capable backup behind him in D'Angelo. And, of course, when your head coach was a elite-level collegiate goalie at Maryland who's been playing in the pros since then, is still a professional player in the crease, that helps out with your goalie development, and it's paid off big time for McMahon and D'Angelo and all the goalies in this program. P.J. Pokins in there, 40 in whites. First time we're seeing him on attack. Some of the second-line guys coming in with a 9-0 lead with under 4 to play. Duffy, who had that second goal today, way back in the first quarter. Pass unable to connect. Stay on this end. Race Ripley still in there with a lot of the reserves here. Always good to have one of the vets stick out there. Kind of be the go-to guy, and that's the role that Race Ripley's playing right now with the rest of these younger guys. 2 to shoot, and it'll be a shot clock violation against Spalding. And they're going to allow Mater Dei to run. 3 minutes to go to try and get on the scoreboard for the Monarchs. Almost threw one away again. Nice catch by Connor Detloff. Beeline towards goal. Going in, and they score. Tristan Jewell breaks up the shutout with 2:52 to go. As the junior Johns Hopkins commit gets his 18th goal of the season, but more importantly, finally gets Mater Dei on the board. Spalding came oh so close to pitching the shutout, but the Monarchs get one with under 3 to play. It's a 9-1 game. And a nice run by Jewell there. Maybe the most talented player on this Monarchs roster. Again, he'll be back in Baltimore in a couple years to play for the Blue Jays. Play some Big Ten lacrosse. And we're going to loose ball push against Spalding, and it'll go right back to the Monarchs. They don't have enough time to come back in this one, but maybe they can, get a little momentum going. They play in 2 days, another MIAA opponent. They go to Mount St. Joe's on Thursday to continue this spring break trip. And a couple of goals here at the end of this one would probably do wonders for their confidence. Bounce shot inside, took a deflection and went wide. It'll stay with the Monarchs. 2:15 to go now. And there was a flag out there. So Mater Dei goes to the man up. 2:15 to go now.
Procedure flag on Spalding, it looks like. Mater Dei's going to go man up.
So we'll see who's out there for Spalding. And yeah, you saw the wholesale changes. They've still got, pretty much that top penalty killing unit out there, even though they had a good amount of the reserves in there in the 6-on-6. Monarchs 0 for 1 on the man up today. They had a chance in the third quarter and couldn't convert. That shot goes wide. And again, D'Angelo.
Again, a nice job by Ryan D'Angelo.
Recognizing that there's no backup for the Monarchs, and that's something he's done pretty well this year. And again, they're not in the highest of leverage moments for him, but he is quick to get around that post and make a mad dash towards the ball. So there's a big hit on the sideline, and a flag's going to fly. So Spalding was a man down, got the ball back, and we'll see. It looks like the teams will go to even strength. Trying to see who laid that hit. And they're going to get Ryan Stiller, the junior attacker, 20 in red, who has been such a good offensive weapon. Team high 23 assists for Stiller this season, but with the one goal, he just hasn't been able to work his magic on offense, and it'll be a 1-minute penalty here. I think we should be 5-on-5 here. And we are. So each team is a player down. So 5-on-5 lacrosse here until the Spalding penalty time is up. And now the time is up. So they're going to go a man up here. They're a perfect 2 for 2 on the EMO today. See if they can keep that perfect. Real young lineup in there. Really, your only guys who are regularly in there are Duffy and Newell, two young guys who play a good amount with the starters. Of course, each of them have a goal in this one today. Duffy gives it up. 15 left on the penalty time. There's an errant pass. It's going to come across midfield. And a whistle blows. 12 seconds on the penalty timer. So shot clock will be off for the rest of this one. It's Mater Dei a man down. We're under a minute to go in the game. And they've got 2 and 1 on the penalty time. And now the Monarchs will go back to 6-on-6. That one's fired wide. Crisostomo couldn't get one to go. So they'll try to get one final tally before this one ends. Reese Lafferty had it knocked off his stick, and it bounds in. Can only be described as an own goal against the Cavaliers. It'll get number 2 on the board for Mater Dei with 41.7 seconds to play in this one. And I'm not quite sure who officially knocked that one in. And we won't give whoever it was their, would say moment in the sun, but more like moment in the darkness right there. But now a 9-2 game as Mater Dei wins the face-off. So listen, when you've got one goal in 47 minutes, I think you'll take that one if you're the Monarchs. Obviously too little, too late, but it gets you at least a crooked number on the scoreboard. Tristan Jewell had the only, I'll say, real goal for the Monarchs today. See if anybody can get one more. Feet inside, knocked around. Ground ball loose in the corner. Couple of guys hit the turf. Spalding will knock it away. And the final buzzer sounds. A dominant performance from beginning to end for the Spalding Cavaliers. And they win it 9-2 over the Mater Dei Monarchs. So Mater Dei comes out from Santa Ana, California, and just couldn't get anything going offensively. Did not score for the first 45 minutes of this game. Tristan Jewell, the Johns Hopkins commit, finally got a goal with 2:52 remaining just to keep it from being a shutout. They got one more on a weird-looking own goal, but 3 goals from Mikey Weissauer, 3 from Ryan Schreier to lead the way offensively, and Connor McMahon was fantastic, did not allow a goal in this one for Spalding. Mater Dei goes to MSJ on Thursday to continue their spring break trip. Spalding back here at home Friday night against Boys Latin at 7 o'clock, a rematch of last year's MIAA Conference Championship game. But until then, for my producer Paul Garza and our entire crew here, I'm Connor Newcomb signing off from Archbishop Spalding High School. One more time, your final score. The Archbishop Spalding Cavaliers 9 and the Mater Dei Monarchs 2. We thank you so much for watching and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.